Hey everyone, welcome back to Midnight Recaps. Tonight's nightmare is The Pope's Exorcist, 2023, a supernatural horror film inspired by the writings of the Vatican's legendary exorcist, Father Gabriele Amorth. But before we begin, here's a terrifying question. What if a demon wasn't trying to possess just one person, but was secretly planning to infiltrate the entire church? What starts as the horrifying possession of a young boy soon uncovers a centuries-old secret buried beneath an abandoned abbey, where an ancient evil has been waiting for someone to set it free. So grab your popcorn, turn down the lights, and let's step into the darkness. The movie opens in a quiet village in Italy, where the legendary exorcist Father Gabriele Amorth arrives on a small scooter after being called to help a family whose son has become violently possessed. Instead of rushing into a dangerous battle, Amorth surprises everyone by bringing a pig into the room. He calmly mocks the demon, claiming it isn't powerful enough to possess even an animal. The demon accepts the challenge. Within seconds, it abandons the young man's body and enters the pig. Waiting outside, Amorth's assistant immediately kills the animal with a shotgun, ending the possession and saving the boy. It's a shocking introduction that proves Father Amorth fights evil with faith, intelligence, and experience, not fear. But his biggest battle is still waiting. Across the country in Spain, Julia and her two children, Amy and Henry, arrive at an old abbey they inherited after Julia's husband died in a tragic car accident. The family plans to renovate the abandoned property and sell it, hoping for a fresh start. Ever since the accident, Henry hasn't spoken a single word. Curious, he begins exploring the massive abbey and stumbles upon a mysterious hidden chamber containing an ancient object no one has touched for centuries. Without realizing it, he awakens something that should have remained buried forever. Meanwhile, back in Rome, Father Amorth is summoned before church officials. Several cardinals criticize him for performing unauthorized exorcisms, arguing that demonic possession is nothing more than mental illness. Only the Pope stands firmly beside him. Although the meeting ends in disagreement, Amorth has no idea that he'll soon be facing an evil unlike anything he's encountered before. Back at the abbey, construction workers accidentally trigger a violent explosion while repairing part of the property. At that exact moment, Henry suddenly collapses. His body convulses violently. Then, after months of silence, he finally speaks. But the voice isn't his own. Looking directly at his family, he calmly tells them that they will all die. Moments later, he begins scratching at his own face. Doctors examine him, but every test comes back normal. No illness, no injury, no explanation. Then things become much worse. The word hate mysteriously appears carved into Henry's stomach. Moments later, he growls in a deep, terrifying voice. "Bring me the priest." A local priest named Father Tomas answers the call. The instant he enters Henry's room, an invisible force slams him across the walls. The demon laughs before shouting, "Wrong priest." Far away in Rome, the Pope immediately realizes who this demon is asking for. He sends Father Amorth to Spain without hesitation. When Amorth finally meets Henry, the demon doesn't threaten him. Instead, it smiles. It reveals that it has been waiting specifically for him. Then it reaches into Amorth's memories, exposing painful moments from his past, including the horrors of war and the guilt he still carries. Before anyone can react, Henry coughs up a dead bird. Even Father Amorth is disturbed. That night, the evil spreads throughout the abbey. Amy begins hearing her dead father's voice. Telephones ring on their own. Dark whispers echo through empty hallways. No one in the house is safe anymore. Amorth begins an official exorcism with Father Tomas assisting him. But this demon prefers psychological warfare. It forces Amorth to relive the death of a young woman he once failed to save. Then it exposes Tomas's secret relationship with a woman he loved before becoming a priest. Overwhelmed with guilt, Tomas nearly attacks Henry himself before Amorth stops him. Realizing they're fighting an unusually powerful demon, Amorth knows they must discover its true name. Without a name, the battle cannot be won. Searching beneath the abbey, Amorth discovers an ancient well. When he drops a burning piece of paper inside, flames erupt from deep underground. Something enormous has been imprisoned beneath the abbey for centuries. While Amorth investigates, chaos breaks loose upstairs. Henry bites part of Tomas's ear off. Julia is dragged across the room by an invisible force. Amy is thrown violently through the air. The demon is growing stronger with every passing hour. Meanwhile, the Pope researches the abbey's hidden history. Before he can reveal the truth, he suddenly collapses and begins coughing blood. Even from his hospital bed, he desperately tries to warn the church. Deep beneath the abbey, Amorth and Tomas uncover ancient catacombs filled with victims of the Spanish Inquisition. There, they discover a horrifying secret. Long ago, one of the church's own exorcists became possessed. Instead of destroying the demon, he unknowingly helped it spread its influence within the church. The abbey was built to imprison that evil forever, but someone has accidentally released it. Inside an ancient book, they finally uncover the demon's identity. Asmodeus. The moment its name is spoken, the demon weakens, but only briefly. Amorth realizes Asmodeus never truly wanted Henry. Its real target has always been Father Amorth himself. If the demon can possess the Pope's most trusted exorcist, it could gain access to the church from within. Knowing the final battle is near, Amorth finally confesses the guilt he's carried for decades. He admits he once believed a possessed young woman was mentally ill, and she later died before he could save her. Receiving forgiveness gives him the strength he needs for one last confrontation. Returning to Henry, the priests begin their final exorcism. Henry barely looks human anymore. His body twists unnaturally as the demon mocks everyone in the room. Carves the words, "God is not here." Then it possesses Amy, forcing her to attack her own mother. Realizing there is only one way to save the family, Father Amorth makes the ultimate sacrifice. He willingly allows Asmodeus to possess him instead. The abbey erupts into chaos. Walls shake, objects fly, dark forces tear through the ancient building. Even when Amorth tries ending his own life to stop the demon, Asmodeus refuses to let him die. The battle moves deep into the catacombs. Father Tomas refuses to abandon his friend. Armed only with his faith, he follows Amorth underground for one final showdown. The demon surrounds them with terrifying visions of their greatest regrets, hoping to destroy their faith forever. But this time, neither priest gives in. Tomas throws Amorth his cross. Together, they call upon God's power. The ground splits open beneath Asmodeus. The ancient demon is dragged screaming into the darkness below, returning to hell once again. With the demon finally defeated, peace returns to the abbey. Henry survives. Julia and Amy are finally free. And Father Amorth has once again prevented unimaginable evil from spreading into the world. Back in Rome, the Pope delivers one final surprise. The abbey wasn't the only prison built to contain powerful demons. Hundreds of similar locations still exist across the world. Knowing their mission has only just begun, Father Amorth invites Tomas to join him on future exorcisms. Smiling confidently, he says, "We're going to hell, and that's how tonight's nightmare comes to an end." Now I want to hear from you. If you were in Henry's position, do you think you would have had the courage to face Asmodeus? Or would you have run from that haunted abbey the moment things started getting strange? Let me know your answer in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to Midnight Recaps, and turn on notifications so you never miss another horror story. This is Midnight Recaps, where every story gets darker after midnight. Until next time, keep the lights on.